nationwide. Perfect day for fossil finds along that eastern side. Bag on back and hammer in hand, my pride, my joy, my tool. British steel, near 20 years, you'd have to be a fool to lose it. I lost my hammer at Yaverland, somewhere on that shore. I walked that beach 100 times and walked it 20 more. Seen a hammer? I'd ask each soul who passed me on the way. Bit worn down but solid steel, you'd know it if you'd say. They shook their heads, I checked again, each stone I'd passed before. I knew it had to be right there, somewhere on that shore. Oh, the hammer I lost at Yaverland was the best I'd ever known. From the finest British steel that time had only owned. And I'd trade every fossil I found that day just to hold it once more. But I only found more fossils on that Yaverland shore.
The suggested equipment at this location is as follows: 1 pick, 1 geological hammer, some geological chisels, a magnifying loupe, goggles or safety specs, some gloves, boots, and specimen bags for your finds. UK Fossils follows all laws and regulations regarding fossil hunting. In some of our videos we use hammers to extract fossils from rocks. These rocks are not part of the bedrock. They are ex situ rocks that have naturally broken away from the bedrock and are legal to collect under SSSI regulations.
So we're now walking down Yaverland, and this is another very popular area, although there isn't a huge amount of cliff to actually visit here actually. As you can see, you've got the Wealden, you've then got the green sand and gold, and then you've got the chalk.
At Yaverland, which is the cliff sections between Redcliffe and Culvercliff, the full Cretaceous succession is present. The beds here are vertical, so the first section of cliff at Redcliffe is the Wealden group. This is where you're most likely to find dinosaur remains. The number to the left represents the age in millions of years. The number to the right represents the thickness of the bed. Next is the ferruginous sands formation. Following this, you have the sand rock, then the carstone. These middle sections are mostly unfossiliferous. Towards the end of the bay, you will go through the succession of lower green sand, the gulp formation, and the upper green sand. And finally, right at the end, the chalk group of the white chalk can be seen. The Wealden group, green sand, and chalk are the areas where you're going to find fossils.
So I've just been looking around this area here where there's a lot of these shell blocks. This is actually part of the Vectis formation, and it's full of fish, also full of shark remains, various things like turtle, crocodile, etc. Now this particular one here is very interesting because it's completely full of fish bones on the surface here. You can see them, all these different various fish there. So Hayden's actually noticed this bone in this rock, and it's actually going into the rock here, but there is a big crack here. So whatever happens, this rock is going to split here, whatever we do. Now it's unlikely that this bone is going to go all the way this far, so we're going to take a gamble. We're going to just follow the natural crack and just tap it here. Yep, so there's nothing showing there. We know that we've got the whole bone there.
Something in the slab down here. It's a little bit covered up, but it looks like a shark spine. Buried under the rock there. So we're down at Yaverland today, and we've been on the beach probably about a good 10 to 20 minutes. And we've been finding quite a lot of little sort of bone fragments within like the like grey slabs. Looks like they have some oysters or shells in there. And we've been finding pieces of fish, fish scales, things like that, bits of bone. I found a shark spine. And I think it's nearly 2 hours after high tide now, and it's actually quite a nice beach to come down. It's quite safe down here, apart from when you get to obviously those cliffs there, which can be quite dangerous if you're with young children. So we always advise to keep away from the base of the cliffs. But it looks very covered up, unfortunately, with a lot of sand, which obviously when fossil hunting is not great. So we're kind of just looking through these slabs at the moment, hoping we can find something really, really nice. You got something? So these are the kind of slabs that we've been looking in. As you can see in here, there's some pieces of, they look like bone. Some could be misleading.
So we're now just going to walk up to the end of the bay here, just before the chalk, where the green sand comes down. Also the gulch, just to see if we can find any ammonites lying around.
Unfortunately, I spent most of the rest of the time trying to hunt down a hammer that I'd put down and lost. The others went to look at the rest of the bay, including the green sand and the chalk, but most of the time I looked up and down, I just could not find the hammer anywhere.
So we just walked up to the other end of the beach now, and we're starting to approach greensand. Just beyond the greensand you've got the chalk. So we're just going to have a look in here where you can find ammonites. You still got these shell blocks. Whoops, don't want wet feet. You got these shell blocks where you can find the bones that we were mentioning earlier on. And obviously with the chalk you can get the flint echinoids. Tide is still going out. Alistair forgot his hammer, so he's just gone all the way up there to try and find it. It's just a shame it's so covered up, to be honest. So I'm just looking to see if I can find any ammonite keels sticking out of these green blocks, which is the green sand. And as we know, when it dries, it goes very, very hard. So a nice size hammer to break them is ideal. Alistair uses a 4-pound hammer to break these, and I use kind of a pick hammer, I guess it is. That's just right for me. So you can see all those shells in there, but you obviously do get the fish scales, bits of bone. I found one complete fish scale at Compton Bay. I think we went there 3 days ago now. That's quite a nice one. Wonder if he's found his hammer. He's always leaving his hammer. So we're just walking back off the beach now, back to the van, and I've managed to pick up 2 pieces of dinosaur bone. One's more worn than the other, but you still kind of can see that honeycomb texture just on the very edge there, and also just round there. And this is the other piece, which is a bit more noticeable.
So as you can see here today at Yaverland, the beach is really sanded up. There's very little on the foreshore. Unfortunately, this last tide has caused all this sand to be deposited on the beach here. So there's actually very little to be found. Despite that, we did manage to find 2 pieces of dinosaur bone, and some fish bits, and the shark fin spine as well, and the other bone. So even though the conditions aren't great, we still managed to find something.
UK Fossils always collects responsibly and is proud to have created the Fossil Code, which helps educate others. We encourage you to read the Code of Conduct and guidelines on our website before going fossil hunting yourself. Safe and sensible collecting is always paramount. The information provided in our videos is for general guidance only. While we aim to ensure accuracy, UK Fossils cannot accept responsibility for any errors, omissions or actions taken based on this content. It is your responsibility to check local regulations and land access permissions before collecting.